Hey, what is up guys, it's Karma here, and today I am back with another video, the first one of 2026. Yes, I am back after a little over a week of no uploads. Completely on me, as I've wanted to relax for the start of the new year, before moving forward with more content for YouTube. And if you haven't seen my community posts, I did get a Lenovo Legion Go S, and I've been playing on that thing for the past week, and I've really been enjoying it. But today, I decided I'm going to do something a little bit different. And today, I decided why not we do a wish list of what I'd like to see for the Hunter Call the Wild this year. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So first up for the wish list I have is vehicle customization, being able to customize our ATVs however we want. I feel like this would be a nice feature because we can customize our guns and our binoculars and our tents. Why not we do the same thing with our ATVs? I feel like that would be a nice feature, which, speaking of ATVs, I also have for equipment new ATVs. And this could be like 4x4, 4-seater cart style ATVs is what I'm referring to. I think something like that would be nice. Horses would also be a nice choice, but ATVs I think would be really cool as well. And the next thing I'm obviously going to talk about, trail cameras. We've been asking for this for a while now. Now I am a little biased on this part just because whenever we're grinding, it's not like we really need these to check any of the zones we're using, but you never know. If you're distracted somewhere else, you can check the trail cameras and see what you've picked up, and if there's anything there that you'd like to shoot, you can go there and take it out. I feel like trail cameras could definitely help check for respawns, especially if you're short on time, like if it's the end of a drink time per se. So now we move on to some weapons, and I've chosen 3. First up is the SCAR Mark 17S. And this is a semi-auto version of the SCAR assault rifle, particularly the SCAR H, which is chambered in 7.62 by 51mm. Now we know we already have 7.62mm rounds in the game with the SKS and the Mosin, but I would say this is like a middle ground for both of those calibers, because the 7.62 with the Quincas Reaper, aka the SKS, is used for classes 2 through 6, and the Mosin 7.62 is used for classes 3 through 7. So if they were to add the SCAR Mark 17S, I think that could bridge the gap between the two, and it could be used for classes 2 through 7 species. Next weapon up is, of course, the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum revolver. One of the most powerful revolvers in the world. I feel like this would be a perfect self-defense weapon against Cape Buffalo, and even stuff like elephants and rhinos and hippos if they ever add them in the future, which we probably won't see that until next year since that's the 10-year anniversary of Call of the Wild. Crazy how time flies, huh? But it would definitely be cool to see the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Now, unlike the 454, where that's a class 4 through 9, I think this would more than likely be a 7 through 9 weapon just because of how powerful a 500 Smith & Wesson is. And the third weapon I have is the 416 Rigby bolt-action rifle. I feel like this would be a really good caliber for the big species like moose, grizzly bear, saltwater crocodile, buffalo, bison, yak, banteng, lions, and tigers. And this could be a caliber used on elephants as well. I think it'd be nice to have another big game caliber rifle. The 375 is really good. The only downside is the bullet drop-off. I think the same thing would apply here, except it would be not only more powerful, but it would probably be more heavier, too. Now, next up we have is some new trophy lodges. First up we have is a Texas-style trophy lodge. And this could be similar to the one we see in the Hunter Classic. I think that would be really cool to see something like that, because we really need new trophy lodges. We're overdue. The last one we got was the Layton Trophy Cabin, but you are extremely limited with what you can do with that lodge. So a Texas-style trophy lodge would be pretty cool, and maybe even add European/skull mounts. That's something I think we need to see. And even more platform and plaque styles like what we saw with the premium trophy pack. I want to see some water platforms for alligators and crocodiles. Maybe some rock platforms for bighorn sheep, mountain lion, mountain goat, tar, and snow leopards. Something like that. But back to new trophy lodges, I also picked an interesting one. Sportsman Store Style Lodge. Now, what do I mean by a Sportsman Store Style Lodge? Think of Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, where they have mounted deer, elk, moose, and all other kinds of game animals there. I think it would be really cool to have a Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops style store for a trophy lodge. And you could buy guns and equipment and all that at that store. I think that would be really cool. I know that seems like far stretch, and it's a big ass, like, there would have to be a lot of effort to be put into that, but I think that would be pretty cool. So next up we have is a list of backfills I'd like to see on some of the older maps. I was actually going to do a list of new species I'd like to see added to older maps. However, I decided to put that aside just because we usually don't get new species until a new map releases. For this, I have picked species that are located in the region that the maps take place. Some of them not in the specific areas where the reserve is located. It would just be nice to have some more variety, that's all. So going through, we have on Leighton Lake, Canada goose, wood duck, gadwall, green-winged teal, and northern pintail. Some more duck variety would be nice, and to have the Canada goose on another North America map. Medved taiga is just the mountain hare. Parque Fernando, we got the American mink, gray fox, fallow deer, and mouflon sheep. Yukon Valley, golden-eyed duck, and blacktail deer. And yes, I know, the specific subspecies of blacktail on Leighton is the Colombian blacktail, but I still feel like we need another blacktail map. And if they want to in the future, they could change it to the Sitka blacktail. Even if they aren't specifically in the region where Yukon Valley is located, I still think it would be nice to see them on another map. Anyways, Silver Ridge Peaks, we have the coyote and the white-tailed deer, Te Awaroa, gray-lag goose, ring-necked pheasant, white-tailed deer, Javan Rusa deer, sandbar deer, and Rocky Mountain elk, Rancho del Arroyo, bobwhite quail, axis deer, black buck. Yes, those two species can be found in Mexico. Puma, Rocky Mountain elk, and plains bison. Mississippi acres, mallard, wood duck, northern pintail, gadwall, coyote, and bobcat. Just a few more duck and small game to be added to the map. New England mountains is just the Canada goose. Emerald Coast, Australia. Obviously, I have European rabbit and water buffalo, but I also have the black buck. Yes, there are black buck populations in Australia. I think it would be pretty cool to see black buck on Emerald Coast. And lastly, for Thunder Baton, we have hog deer, axis deer, wild boar, and feral pig. So this is just some ideas. Let me know what you think should get backfilled onto the older maps in the comments. So now, as I've said, I'm going to be skipping new species for older maps, and we're just going to go straight to the new reserves and some of the species that could be on them. So I've just picked 3 maps. I think 3 ideas is just good enough. And I'm going to say it right now, none of them are North America or European because, I'm going to be honest, I feel like getting more of those maps is just kind of getting old. Unless it's like a Nunavut map or a European Alpine map that has like Alpine Ibex, for example. So obviously, I am getting this one out of the way since this has been requested for so long, and it's more than likely not going to happen this year, but I'm still going to talk about it. Africa 2.0. Now, particularly, I'm going with Namibia. So this is a more hot, dry, desert savanna map compared to Virhonga, but I think it would just be a nice switch up, to be honest. Now, I just want to mention that I do not have elephant rhino on this map, because I'm going to be honest, in my opinion, I think they should do another Africa map, but save elephants, rhinos, giraffes, and hippos and all that for a future Africa map. So for the Namibia map, I have a mix of new and returning species. Plain zebra, red hartebeest, greater kudu, gemsbok, impala, sable antelope, black wildebeest, warthog, Cape eland, springbok, waterbuck, African leopard, deek, steenbok, blackback jackal, helmeted guinea fowl, sand grouse, red-billed teal, and Egyptian goose. So it's a nice variety of big game species that I'd love to see, particularly the sable antelope. That's the species I want to see the most. And of course, everybody really wants to see greater kudu, as well as other stuff like black wildebeest, eland, zebra, stuff like that. And the African leopard would definitely be an aggressive species compared to the snow leopard. And with that, they could also remaster the springbok and give them new true racks. Maybe do the same thing with the gemsbok and the warthog. So the next map I have is Pakistan. And of course, I have the markhor, which is the national animal of the country. And there's obviously subspecies of markhor, so it wouldn't just be like a singular markhor. But we also have the Uriel sheep. Just like the markhor, we could see multiple different subspecies. And then after those two, we have Himalayan ibex, Sind ibex, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, blue sheep, wild boar, hog deer, nilgai, shukar, common shelduck, and sand grouse. So it'd be nice to have another map with nilgai And aside from Chukar being on a Pakistan map, they could definitely be backfilled to other maps like Tia Aroa. But I also have them for the next map that I'm going to be talking about. And this is one that I've been wanting for some time. Mongolia. Obviously, the Altai Argali, the largest wild sheep species in the world. These guys have such big horns, and I think they would be a really amazing addition to the Hunter Call of the Wild. Heck, I think it would be really cool to have these guys as a great one. But anyways, the rest of the species include Gobi Argali, Hangai Argali, Altai Ibex, Gobi Ibex, Marl Elk, aka the Mongolian Elk, White Gazelle, Black-tailed Gazelle, Grey Wolf, Siberian Roe Deer, Wild Boar, Snow Leopard, Ground Squirrel, Marmot, Corsock Fox, Bar-headed Goose, Taiga Bean Goose, Altai Snowcock, Black Grouse, Eurasian Teal, and Eurasian Widgeon. So the Siberian Roe Deer is actually bigger than the European Roe Deer, which is the subspecies that we see on Quattro, Hirschfelden, and the newly added Tornishin. So if they were to add the Siberian Roe Deer, they would definitely have to change some things up so that way it's different from the European Roe Deer. And that's due to the fact that not only does the Siberian Roe Deer grow bigger in weight, they grow bigger and heavier antlers than their European counterparts. But who knows, they could just do the normal Roe Deer. And of course, Snow Leopards on another map, maybe have an increased population for them, but keep them as elusive as they are on Sundar Patan. And lastly, we have new Great Ones. I've picked 9 species that I'd like to see as Great Ones. So for the fabled horns, which is like antlered or horned Great Ones, this includes elk, caribou/reindeer, Cape buffalo, and roe deer. So for the elk, I definitely would love to see the Manitoban elk be a great one. In my opinion, they are the best looking elk model in the game. And if they were to do a great one for Roosevelt or Rocky Mountain elk, both of those would definitely need to be remastered. The caribou and the reindeer would also be pretty nice. Obviously, I think they would do all 3 subspecies. Maybe all 3 subspecies could have their own specific fabled furs. The Great One Cape Buffalo is definitely something I would love to see. Of course, they would definitely need to get Truax first, and they would need to be remastered. And the roe deer would be a nice, smaller deer species Great One to have. People thought this is what was going to be the newest Great One on Scotland, but it ended up being the wild boar. But I think it would be pretty cool to see a Great One roe deer. So next up is the fabled fangs, and this is obviously predators. I have lion, grizzly bear, American alligator, and Bengal tiger. So all 4 of these predators would be pretty cool. The only downside is that all of them are on a single map. Lions are only on Virhonga, grizzlies are only on Yukon, alligators are only on Mississippi, and Bengal tigers are only on Sundar Patan. But I feel like having map-exclusive Great Ones would be pretty cool. Because we really want to see like this scarred-up lion that's been fighting for most of its life, or a grizzly bear that's old and has a scar over its eye. Maybe an alligator with like missing tail spikes on its back, or maybe a battle-scarred tiger. Something like that would be pretty cool. Now for the fabled wings, which is like birds, the only one I have is the turkey. I'm just not sure what other birds would really get the Great One treatment aside from turkeys. If this is to be a Great One they choose, they would definitely have to start with the Merriam's turkey. I don't see Rio Grande getting the Great One treatment first. And the Eastern Wild Turkey are on 2 of the community's least favorite maps. New England Mountains and Mississippi Acres. But a Great One turkey would definitely be cool, you know. When it like struts, some of the tail feathers could be missing. Maybe even have a scarred up chest. Something like that would be pretty cool. But anyways, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. This is everything that I'd like to see in the Hunter Call of the Wild, either this year or in the future. I apologize that I went a week without a video, but I'm back. And I do apologize that the background footage was just trophies from last year. But I just didn't feel like recording any new footage right now. And I know some of you might say I should have put this out around Christmas time, but oh well. Better late than never. But let me know what you'd like to see in the Hunter Call of the Wild this year or in the future. Tell me down in the comments below. And if you are new around here, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And click the bell notification so you never miss another upload. Be sure to join the Discord server if you feel like it. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.